Hi, I'm Emily and I'm in second year of Biological Sciences.
Hi, I'm Greg, I'm in final year and I study business management.
Hi, I'm Charlotte, I'm in my final year as well and I study English and History, and today we're going to talk to you about the support services at Queen's.
They are so approachable. I don't think it's how approachable, it's just they are approachable, full stop. Whether it be office staff in your school, or whether it be the support services we've talked about, or whether it be the finance office or anyone at Queen's, they're pretty approachable. They are approachable, sorry. And you can just go chat to them, whatever it may be about. And it's not just like your lecturers and the finance office, it is everyone at Queen's. Whether you're in the library and you have an IT issue, there is an IT support desk in the library readily available. If there's a spill or anything, there's cleaners everywhere around Queen's. And I was saying before off camera, when I was in Elms in first year, we had a lovely cleaner who was unbelievable. Like, she'd go above and beyond. After a few drinks, she would never really hoover until later on in the day, just because she knew you were asleep. You know, going above and beyond, which I think just shows how dedicated and kind the staff here are, whether it be your lecturers, your senior lecturers, your professor of practice, or just even down to the dedicated cleaners that we have here.
No, there's definitely a team for everything at Queen's, and there'll be a phone number or an email that you can find out online, and you can message them for any help you need. And even, like, I would say security staff are really good as well. I can remember in first year really appreciating that. Like coming back from nights out or coming back from work early in the morning, it was really nice to know that they were there.
I'd like to add on as well, I know we're not in halls anymore, so we kind of forget about things, but I can't remember the students that work at hall.
RAs, residential
RAs,
assistants.
Yeah.
So I was in BT1 and we have a little coffee bar downstairs, and they run this from the afternoon, and you get free tea and coffee, and it's really nice just to be able to go, you know, sit and talk to them, because they're just there anyway, and you can go and ask them anything you want, and the RAs. So yeah, I definitely make use of them and make sure you know their number, that they'll tell you when you go into halls. But yeah,
And
the RAs were excellent.
They can relate to you as well, they're students.
Yeah, they're students, and they're just really nice to talk to if, you know, you're having trouble, like in your first few weeks at halls, if you're a bit lonely.
They organise so many events as well.
Yeah.
There was so much free pizza in the first couple of weeks of
so
living in
much
Elms.
Domino's. I was sick of Domino's.
Every week it was like the RAs were like, come down, we've got free pizza. And I was like,
we did like cupcake decorating.
stuff like that.
I wouldn't quote me on this because I haven't been in Elms in a few years now, but the year I was there was over 150 events. Trips to Giant's Causeway, down south in Dublin, they'd do trips around Belfast on the weekend.
But not even drive you to Lidl as well.
Yeah,
they do that as well.
IKEA. In the first few weeks of living in Elms, there's that IKEA trip, there's a Lidl trip.
Just get everything you need.
Things you actually think about until you get asked a question like that. There is a lot of staff who are very approachable actually when you look back on it now. Especially when I look back on my time, like, I think I've had quite a good interaction. There's a lot of staff who are approachable, which is good. Yeah, there's a lot of support in the business management, especially from the management school. We have our advisor of studies. We also have our lecturers who are more than happy to speak to you if you have any queries about your exams or your coursework. And they're very adaptable. So we have support hours when you can just email them and they will arrange an appointment, so you can just chat to them about any queries you have. And of course, you can speak to your advisor of studies if the issue or the support required is bigger than just that one module.
I knew someone who once had like a 7 a.m. meeting because it was the only time they could do, and they got their lecturer to do like a 7 a.m. Zoom, and I was like, that's horrific.
We're in the C.S. Lewis reading room, which is this beautiful round room in the library. We've got this big table with a map of Narnia, because C.S. Lewis actually lived in Belfast for a long time and wrote all the Narnia books here. And I don't think he went to Queen's, but he lived in Belfast.
He's very connected to Belfast, because there's also C.S. Lewis Square. And they have like a reading festival sometimes as well. Yeah,
so if you come to Belfast, you should totally go to C.S. Lewis Square in East Belfast. It's really cool. It's got a big metal statue of Aslan. That's really cool. And
But also the room is really relaxed actually. It's nice and chilled.
It's a really nice room.
Perfect place just to whack out a book. It's considered like a quiet room really, more for reading. As you can see, there's a table here, and when we're not sat like this, they're spread out across the table so you can work. And then along the side, you've also got desks. Then you've got a lovely bench behind me here. So it's just a lovely room just to have a nice read if you just want to get away from a bit of the the library really. It's just a little bit of a break. You walk through the cupboard and you're in a nice quiet room.
Well, definitely studying. Like, I'm the type of person that has to have a really good sort of split between work and relaxing. I can't work at home in my bedroom. I just end up just lying in bed and falling asleep. So I do have a desk in my room, but I always come to the library every morning. It really gets me motivated to start the day, especially in the times of Corona where we're not going to lectures. It's really useful to just be able to get dressed and go somewhere so you feel like you have a bit more purpose.
So at Queen's, in every school there is a dedicated librarian. In the management school we have a lady called Norma who's really useful. If you ever need a book that you can't find in the library or a journal article that you can't find online, you just email the dedicated librarian. As I said, Norma in the management school comes back very quickly and she will support you in either getting that book or that journal article, which is really beneficial, I think.
Yeah, we have, well, I study history, so very much using the library and primary and secondary sources. And for one of my modules last term, it was crime and punishment in like 19th century Ireland, and we had our librarian do like a Zoom lecture for us about how to access primary sources especially, and how to know if they're reliable and when to use them and how to access them and all that kind of stuff. And it was really helpful for our essays and stuff.
Just to expand on that, that's actually a really good point. It's just reminded me, when you come to Queen's, there's nothing to actually worry about in terms of the library. You will have a walk through the library and you will have a meeting with your dedicated librarian who goes through it all, whether it's checking out a book, checking in a book, how to find books, and also knowing what articles are valuable, what articles aren't as good in terms of the academic work. So that's really important. There's nothing to worry about. Like, in terms of the library, your school and your dedicated librarian will go through how to work the library and the silent rooms and everything like that, so no one needs to worry.
Yeah. Referencing is so important in your degree, and you can lose a lot of marks if you don't reference properly. That's a lot of what the library staff help with as well, because if if you don't find a source correctly or something and you cite it wrong in your essay and it's a big essay, then it's not good. So yeah, exactly as you said, that's really useful.
But again, like, Queen's have a dedicated service for that. It's called Queen's Referencing. It's on the website and it's really great. So there's all these sources available. So there's no need to worry about the library or referencing as long as you seek the services that are available to you. Yeah, I've got a notable alumni. They didn't do my course, they chose law. My granddad and his dad, they went to Queen's. It was part of the reason I actually decided to come to Queen's. Because, just not that family legacy, but just to experience what they've done. And me and my granddad have chats about how Queen's has progressed and stuff. And it's really interesting to see how Queen's has evolved and improved compared to where he was. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my notable alumni.
So nice. Have they come to visit you while you've been here?
Oh yeah, they live on Malone Road.
Yeah.
She does my grandmother, bless her, does my washing every week.
Degree Plus is basically all the extracurriculars and all the extra good things that you do at Queen's. You send them off to the SU and basically they give you like an extra certificate and a nice thank you, well done, it looks great on your CV, this is amazing, you're a good person kind of thing. You send it off normally in your final year, and it's from being on societies, being in clubs, having a job, volunteering, being a committee member.
Yeah, it's just something that kind of shows that you have been doing something extra in your degree apart from just your degree that employers can,
you wouldn't want to turn up at Queen's and just go to your lectures and go home. It just kind of encourages you to do other stuff as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was in first year. When I applied through adjustment on UCAS, and they were really handy. So you just I ticked the box to say I have dyslexia, but every disability that you could imagine they will accommodate. And what they did was they arranged for me to have a dyslexia test, just because of my old one had expired. I had my dyslexia test done by Queen's. I then got the results from that, and it said what I needed, whether it be, a scribe or a new laptop or printing credit. And I was eligible for X, Y, and Z. And Queen's were really helpful in that, and it sourced it pretty well. And then they they work alongside Student Finance England to make sure you have the support available. I know friends who have had to have scribing lectures and other friends who have had to have printers.
Yeah, definitely. Loads of opportunities. The one I'm most connected to is being on the squash committee. I was in squash in first year, and it was a really good way of me to find friends. And like, apart from my flatmates, and I was really close with all the people at squash. And then sort of at the end of the year, you do an AGM and you apply if you want a position. And I'm the treasurer of the squash committee this year. Not that we've done much squash apart from like the start of the year, unfortunately, but it's really useful to get used to with treasurer. Like being the treasurer, managing, you know, you have to apply for grants, which is a really sort of useful skill to be able to, I don't know, fill in forms properly and do admin and sort of, you know, ask for money, like why you need it and stuff, which is a really good skill to put on your CV. And have you got any other?
Yeah,
you were vice president.
I've been on 2 committees, so I've been treasurer for English this year, and then vice president of the Dance Society last year. And it does teach you a lot of skills, like trying to organise getting 30 dancers to Liverpool for a competition that starts at like 6 a.m. is like, it's a skill you didn't think you need to have, but it's like admin, organisation, problem solving, all of that, dealing with people's worries, someone ringing you like, I'm going to miss my flight, like, and what do you do with that? And then again, like the grants and health and safety risk assessments, stuff like that, filling in all those forms for the SU, because you can't just get up and leave and fly to Liverpool, like you have to fill in so many forms to do that. And also they do leadership programs as well at Queen's. I think there was one that was run down at the like cadet army barrack that you could do that I was going to do, but then coronavirus stopped it.
You've also got Activity Week at Queen's. I'm not sure when it falls this year, but Activity Week, they do a lot of events, a lot of things like that you can attend, and they have dedicated ones to leadership skills, management activities. So it's not just being a committee member or on
there are like programs as well. Yeah,
there's dedicated things there, and just seek it and it will be there.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was just really struggling with a lot of things going on. They had a bereavement in the family. It was a rather tough time for them, and they were able to contact the Wellbeing Service at unknown hour, rather late, unfortunately, one day, and they got support when they needed it. That's what counted. They were given the correct counselling as well. They were given the sessions for free, done by Queen's. And there's also a charity called Nightline, which is heavily advertised. I'm on the paddle sport committee, and we heavily advertise Nightline Society. It's a nighttime service which is available for all students. And it's something that, you know, if you need it, they're there, they are good. Good counselling is available to students when required, which I think is important. Yeah,
Nightline's available Tuesday and Fridays, I believe, from like 8 p.m. until 2 a.m. And you can just IM and message in and chat to them about pretty much anything. And Wellbeing Services, one of my friends this year. So because I think during coronavirus, obviously, I think a lot of people struggled a bit more, and they had, I think, 5 sessions with Queen's, something like that. 6. And it really helped them.
Yeah, no, it's,
like it seemed to you know, sort them out a little bit and help, and
there's always more support available if you need it. It's not just the 6 sessions. If you need more support is available.
I think that's just kind of like the base.
Yeah,
just
the base.
See what you need.
It's what you need, and they're there for you.
Yeah.
Weekly appointments, or depending on what your needs is, and they are, like I say earlier, great service, lovely staff who work there, friendly. They don't make you feel bad for whatever you have going on in your life. They are open, and there's that clear communication channel, and they will check in with you and just check how you're doing, even after the sessions, which is really good. And it's nice to see. Obviously, that's just my mate's experience from Queen's.
I would say just during coronavirus as well, I think even lecturers and staff are more aware of people potentially
100%.
struggling, and you know, there is often an email being sent out just to check that everyone's okay, and obviously if you respond to that saying you're not, then they'll get you the help that you need. So on my future, like the careers website, they have loads on there. I'm supposed to be doing one this summer actually in June, which is like the Queen's Consulting program internship, which is with careers and employability. And there are other ones, like I applied for one that I didn't get, but it was good. It was like the WIP one, the Washington Island program. And like Go Global, they had loads of ones with like the British Council and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm in final year, so I've done quite a few at Queen's, again using my future. I've done a day insight at one of the big 4 consultancy firms. I have then done a week in London, which was advertised again through My Future. There's a whole process. You've got to send your CV and a cover letter, and then you find out if you're successful or not. I've also done a year's placement. I found that outside of the careers, I applied to the company directly. However, before I applied directly, I went to the Career Support Service. We went through my CV, we reorganised it because it was a bit all over the place, to be honest. And then we attacked my cover letter. So I wrote it out how I wanted to say, and they gave me some good pointers on how to improve it. And I was fortunate enough to get that placement. So I found it being really supportive here.
Yeah, in biosciences they're really proactive. I think in first year I had 2 sessions. We have the careers advisor Mark Gallagher in biosciences that sort of helps everybody find placements and stuff. I'm not doing a placement, but still, even if you're not, he gives you loads of help. And it's actually an opportunity in first year. We didn't actually get to do this because of COVID, but to go to England and have a tour of all the big bioscience companies like GSK and Johnson & Johnson and Wiley, like publishing companies and stuff. So that would have been really helpful, and I think that's a really good opportunity to meet people and sort of get in there with the companies. So yeah, that's really good.
Just going off what you said about the Washington thing,
Yeah.
my flatmate did it.
Did
Oh,
they?
he loved
Yeah.
it, absolutely loved
That's
it. And
really
he
good.
made some great connections, and he's started
Yeah.
his new business, which he's really passionate about, but he's got drawing on some of the connections he made.
Yeah, I would say definitely. Yeah, all the extracurriculars, all the extra things you do in your spare time, like they all add up on your CV. And my CV is way fuller than it was when I first started at Queen's. And even there's a CV checker. There's so many like things you can do on My Future. I think you can even like book like a fake interview and like practice with that and stuff like that.
I did the fake
Yeah,
interview.
was it good?
Yeah, it was actually really good. They asked some questions,
Yeah.
and then I also booked the CV checker.
Yeah, I've done the CV checker, which was good.
All good things. And like you say about My Future, Queen's offer job fairs, which they'd run in front of the Lanyon building. And whenever I've attended, they've put up a lovely marquee, and there's been employers in stalls, and you can chat to them and you can ask them questions like, what do you look for, or what opportunities do you have available? And it's things like that they run the job fair. I think they run it around after Christmas time. It was whenever I was looking at it. And you get to meet actual employers, actual people who will be in the recruiting team. And in my management school, we have a lecturer, David Poulsen, who has organised events with actual employers in the HR department, because he runs a master's HR, and you can speak to them about just what they look for in candidates and how they can manage talent, which is really good, and it's maybe more, I think, more employable.
Yeah, the support for careers is really excellent. Even just within the schools, we've had, ecology jobs fairs where just employers from, RSPB and stuff have come and talked to us, or we've got 2 people on the team just in biological sciences helping us with careers that you can contact whenever you want, even if you're not on the year placement course. It really doesn't matter. Also, so many opportunities for placements and field work. Because we're, employability, especially in sciences, but probably for other courses as well, employers really want you to have practical skills, and there's so much opportunity for field work at Queen's, which is really good. So you can put that on, I've done this and this and this, which is, so an employer will be like, oh, they can do that already, we don't need to teach them that. So yeah, it's really good.
What you put in is what you get out. So in first year, I was pretty much on the fence. I was like, oh, is it appropriate for me to email my lecturer? Is it appropriate for me to email this service? Is it appropriate? And then as I've progressed, I've realised it's not, is it appropriate? It's just you should email them, and they will respond with you. And even if it's not them, they direct you to the right point of call, which is really beneficial, and it's really supportive. So what I would do is I'd email the person, even if I don't know if it's them 100%. If it's them, great. If not, they will tell me where to go, which is really, and then you've got the Student Guidance Centre as well. I'd go see them, pretty early on for any query you have, and they will point you in the right direction, get you the support you required.